Good evening and a warm welcome from the Rhine Energy Stadion in Cologne, as here on Sports Extra we will take you through the opening stages of Spain against Georgia in the round of 16 at the Euros, because on BBC Radio 5 Live they are continuing to digest such a dramatic afternoon as England scrape their way through to the quarter-finals, beating a very spirited Slovakia by 2-1. And then I would imagine at around roughly 10 past we will be back on BBC Radio 5 Live. Just in case you didn't hear me give it's Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton, by the way. Good evening, Chris, how are you?
Thanks for bringing me in, Ian. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed the England win, albeit wasn't the perfect performance, but they got there in the end. And I've got to say, really looking forward to this one. Spain are the best team I've seen so far in these championships, but Georgia coming into this, bit of a David and Goliath this, isn't it?
It is.
But Georgia's win against Portugal, just get belief from that. And look, I mean, will they carry a threat to Spain? I think Spain in the end will come through this comfortably enough. But let's just wait and see. Georgia do pack a punch up top.
Well, we've got the surprise package in Georgia against probably the most impressive side that we've seen so far. I've not seen Germany in the flesh as yet, but I have seen Spain on a couple of occasions against Croatia and Italy. And remember, they have won all of their 3 matches so far, and with 3 successive clean sheets. Unai Simon is in goal, a back 4 of Carvajal, Lenormand, Laporte and Cucurella, the midfield of Fabian, Rodri and Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams and Alvaro Morata are the front 3 for Spain. The players are just gathering in the tunnel side by side, and very soon Guram Kashir, the most experienced, the most capped player for Georgia, will lead out his country for a 117th occasion, as they have Mamadashvili in goal, a back 3 of Velusani, Kashir and Lochoshvili, the wing-backs Kakubadze and Davali, Kiteshvili, Kocharashvili, Chakvetadze on the midfield, with then Mikautadze and Kvaratskhelia as the front 2. And Mikautadze has scored in every game.
Yeah, and I do think that the way that Spain play, they'll leave 2-on-2 at the back at times against Mikautadze and Kvaratskhelia up top. We know that they are a threat. What worries me from Georgia's perspective is I think they'll be outnumbered in the middle of the park. Spain will have plenty of possession, but in many respects Georgia have set themselves up in this tournament so far to sit deep and counter-attack, and that's their chance this evening.
Just to set the scene for you here, the Rhine Energy Stadion has a capacity of just under 47,000. It's feels still quite compact, 2-tiered stadium all the way around, but the stands are quite steep. So we look away towards our left in that bottom tier, there are lots of the red and white Georgian flag with the 5 crosses being waved around, and the Georgian support sort of is in that bottom tier to the left and then reaches up to the top tier on the far side. And then as we just look away around towards the right, you've then got the banks of the Spanish support, bottom tier on the right hand side, and also both top and bottom on that top right hand corner over on the far side. But a good atmosphere, but surely there could not be the same sort of struggle that we've witnessed with England for the Spanish.
You just don't know. The Georgia fans, mention them to our left-hand side, they're in great spirits, but it's one of those from a player's perspective where they'll want to make that next step, take another big scalp in Spain as they did against Portugal last time out. So you just never know. As they hang on in that and carry a threat on the counter, they have players who can hurt the Spanish back line. It's a wait and see.
Francois Le Texier of France leads out the 2 sides, and as they make their way past the flags of both the competing sides that have been laid out on the playing surface just in front of the tunnel area, they will now gather for the 2 anthems here in Cologne, because Spain, one of the favourites against one of the rank outsiders, Georgia, as the 2 coaches embrace also down there below. But first of all, we will have the anthem of Georgia. The president of Georgia, Saloum Zurabichvili, she's here tonight, as is the Georgian Prime Minister, Irakli Kobakidze. And they are certainly represented very, very well. Said that their anthem is called Freedom. They've actually made out a homemade bit of signage which is draped over a rather expansive walkway behind the goal award to our left-hand side that spells out the words "Believe." Would you share their belief?
Well, I think their belief would have grown throughout this competition. They actually gave Turkey one hell of a game in the group opener, really pushed them all the way and carried a thread. As the result against Portugal, which really stood out, and you can talk about, well, Portugal made a few changes because they'd already topped the group, but they were so impressive, and that will give them belief that they can do it against this Spanish team. But I've got to say, I do think that this is a level up from Portugal. It's going to be about moments for Georgia, about their front two and how they link up and how they carry a threat. We know that the result back in September was a 7-1 to Spain. That may be in the minds of the Georgian players, but you go back to September to where they are now, I think that belief, as Stefana says, has gone up all sorts of levels.
Yeah, the game that Chris is referring to was they actually met in qualifying for this Euros. Spain won 7-1 in Tbilisi, and then in the return game, which was held in Valladolid, the Spanish triumphed by 3-1. It's the only time that Georgia have conceded 7 in an international. So as they now gather in their predominantly white kit with the red stripe going down the middle, a vertical stripe, Spain are in their red shirts and navy shorts, and our French referee is about to get us underway. We know that England will now play Switzerland in Dusseldorf on Saturday evening at 5 o'clock. Of course, you can hear that on BBC Radio 5 Live. And the winners of this will play the host Germany in Stuttgart on Friday at 5 o'clock. That could be a mouth-watering contest if it was to be Spain against Germany.
Well, it'd be mouth-watering if it was Georgia against Germany as well, but I think everybody is thinking Spain. So let's see how the clash of Cologne gets on.
If Georgia were to do it, it would be, I think, one of the greatest ever shocks in the history of the European Championship. So Spain will be playing from right to left as we look. Alvaro Morata, the captain, with the kickoff. Back to Rodri and Spain, who are expecting to see a lot of the ball, and already there's a lot of booing and jeering and whistling from the Georgian support, mainly in that left-hand side. As in these early stages, Spain played out to Cucurella here on BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra, as Laporte missed the first game through injury, but has started the last two. But by and large, the other 10 players have had a good 9-day rest after securing their qualification on match day 2 with that 1-0 victory against Italy. Every outfield player is in the Georgian half, out towards Williams on this near side to left, almost level with the penalty area, looks to go on the outside of Kakadadze, sends over the cross, Morata looking to turn, Morata then tripped inside the area. The referee would have had a good look at that as the ball is brought away over on that far side by Diwali. And this is Fabian inside to Rodri, back towards Fabian Ruiz, who I think has been one of the most impressive players that we've seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, they've got a lovely balance, haven't they, in Spain? In the middle of the park, you've got R&R, Rodri and Ruiz, the playmakers, with Pedri, who'll play slightly in advance of those two. Just drifts in the area in between the Georgian backline and the midfield, trying to find little pockets of space. Then you've got the wing wizards, Yamal off the right-hand side, left footer, and Williams off the left.
This is Laporte. Diwali, who played as a left wing-back against Portugal, this is Fabian looking to try and turn, and does turn and shoots, and it was going to be cleared by Kashi at the back. I noticed that Diwali, certainly in the lineups that we saw from UEFA's website, played on the left of the three against Turkey and Czechia, but played as a left wing-back against Portugal, but has actually switched with Lotjoshvili. So Diwali is playing on the left of that back three at the moment, as Lotjoshvili has to try and deal with Lamine Yamal, this teenager, over on that far side. Spain back with Carvajal on that far side, the right. 2.5 minutes played. 5 Sports Extra. Spain 0, Georgia 0. As Laporte, Williams comes to a standstill, sends over an in-swinging cross. Cashier with a header away. Out of play, goes for a throw.
Yeah, they're going to be very patient, aren't they, Georgia, with their setup? They've got the 5 across the back, and the 3, narrow 3 in midfield, and 2 up top, and the 2 up top are the key for Georgia. They can link up when they get the ball, but they're giving up the wide areas. That's where Spain, I think, will dominate. Obviously, a really strong challenge from Kakabadze.
This is Williams. Good footwork. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Left-footed cross is a deep one. Yamal will leave it for Carvajal. Referee, though, has the flag's up on the far side. It'll be a free kick to Georgia. Spain, interestingly, eliminated in the last 16 in 3 of their last 4 major tournaments, including against Morocco in the last World Cup. 0-0, losing on penalties.
What are you saying? What are you suggesting?
I'm saying that they've been eliminated in 3 of the last 4. Read into that what you will. But it would be a major upset, considering that since the quarter-final stage was introduced into the Euros, actually at Euro 96, only 3 debutants have ever reached the last 8. Croatia that particular tournament, and then Wales and Iceland, who both did it in 2016. Yamal on the halfway line, running forward at pace. Out to Carvajal, drills it in low, on the stretch, and it was Pedri, and it was a very good save by Mamardashvili.
It was a good save, but he has been brilliant this tournament, hasn't he? Mamardashvili, as the cross comes in from the right-hand side from Carvajal, not a high cross, all the way along the floor. Pedri on the stretch, left-footed, directed it towards Mamardashvili's far corner. He got down well to his right-hand side, probably being the best goalkeeper in the tournament, alongside Donnarumma, I would say, but Donnarumma on his way home.
Arrivederci. 21 saves, or 22 now, over the last 3 and a bit games for Mamardashvili. He's saved 16 of the last 17 shots faced. So, but in saying that, I'm not into XG and all that. Goals expected to be conceded. Cucurella with a cross from the left. Yamal headed out by Lotjoshvili far side. But if you are, the statistics will tell you that they should have been conceding something like 7 goals a game with the amount of shots that have been peppered in against Georgia. Fabian out towards Williams places the cross. Cashew with a header, and then poked clear by the Watford player Chakmatadze. Lenormand all the way back towards his goalkeeper Unai Simon, and he beats the press of the Katadze, and now with Cucurella. And can the white shirts get back as Cucurella comes forward? Williams on this near side. Challenge from Kakabadze. Cucurella in field to Rodri. 0-0, 6 minutes played. Sports Extra. Lenormand out to Yamal. Cross is too deep. Incidentally, Pedri, who had that opportunity on the stretch, starting tonight. Most starts in the knockout stages at the Euros for a player under the age of 21. It's his 4th. His previous 3 have all gone to extra time.
What are you saying?
I knew you were going to say that.
It's a bit disrespectful, your XG comment, because I was at the Monday Night Club with Rory Smith, who wrote a book on it.
Yeah, well, good luck for Rory. Ball up to Katadze. Chakmatadze over the halfway line. Kakabadze coming forward at right wing back, and then fouling Cucurella. I'll be interested to see how they get Kvaratskhelia on the ball, because when he plays for Napoli, he plays wide left. Saw him in a couple of years ago against Liverpool in the Champions League in Naples. He was terrific. Big fan of him. 23-year-olds, he is their key man. But for his country, he tends to play in a more central role.
Yeah, well, it's a twin strike force, isn't it? And it's a brave way to play against a team like Spain, but they are sitting deep, and the key is the front guys linking up.
This is Williams. Still 0-0, 7.5 minutes played on Sports Extra. As Williams gets the ball on this near side to left. Cucurella makes the run ahead of him. Back inside now to Pedri. Plays it along the ground. Williams invites Cucurella towards the byline, and there was the cutback, and then it was actually cut out, and it will go out of play for a corner kick. It was Kwadworashvili who got there first of all, the holding midfielder.
Yeah,
but it's Spain who are pressing.
Yeah, and there's good play from Spain. Down the left-hand side once again, Williams, an underlap from Cucurella, got to the byline, but well blocked. We're going to see a lot of last-ditch defending from Georgia.
Corners taken short, near side to left. Lamine Yamal. Williams, level with the penalty area, onto his right foot. It's an in-swinging cross. It's headed away well by Cassia. Headed further clear by Chakvetadze. Fabian with his own header for Spain. We'll see it back into the Spanish half, and there is Cucurella popping up the last line of defence. Back inside to Fabian. And Fabian now in the centre circle. Carvajal is out wide over on that far side. Still a lot of vocal support from the Georgia supporters. Header away there by Velusani, one of the three central defenders. Lifted up into the air. Laporte, his header. Kvaratskhelia will try and put a little bit of pressure on Le Normand, but at the minute it is Spain who are totally dominating. 81% possession in these opening 9 minutes. 0-0.
Yeah, from a Georgia perspective, though, they're frustrating Spain. They're sitting deep, and it's about being disciplined, hanging on in there, staying in the game in the early stages.
Here is Williams. Back to Cucurella. Laporte, 30 yards out from goal. Cucurella on the left once again. Almost every Georgian player is back behind the ball at this stage. They are so compact at the moment, and Spain are having to try and find a way through. Fabian with the turn. That came off the body of Kvitashvili, and it's gone behind for a corner kick to Spain. 0-0. We're in the 10th minute here in Cologne.
Yeah, I suppose we talk about the Georgian front two. They're conserving a lot of energy because they're not working particularly hard. So when they do get the ball, they're very explosive.
Williams with a corner kick. Flick had a good save again by Mamardashvili. It was Carvajal at the near post who directed it goalwards. Came through a crowd of players inside that 6-yard area, and a very good reflex save from Mamardashvili.
For such a little guy, Carvajal gets some headers in, doesn't he? Just drifted across into that near post space, right-footed in-swinger. Flick header. And Mamardashvili down to his left-hand side this time, making the save, crucial save. I think he saw it late, Ian, made it even better.
Not surprised he saw it late, judging by how many people were inside that congested penalty area. Fabian treads it through. Pedri a little flick, looking towards Morata, partially cleared by Georgia, can't get out at the moment. This is Fabian once more, inside towards Rodri. Man over on that right-hand side, right corner of the area. Lamine Yamal with the cross, reaches Williams, strikes it on his right knee, comes in field, shoots, takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner kick. They are really putting Georgia on the back foot.
This is an absolute pummeling. But Georgia, the last ditch blocks have been crucial.
Corner taken quickly, right-hand side. Fabian, right corner of the area, blocked. Chakvetadze looking to try and get the ball up towards Kvaratskhelia. Cut out though by Pedri. Spain have got it back once again, and they're slow to retreat this time of Georgia. That was Laporte. Pedri floats the ball out towards the right corner of the penalty area. Yamal has got Williams on the overlap. The two tricky teenagers combining over on that right-hand side. Carvajal, Rodri. Good tempo about the way that Spain are passing this ball around. Cucurella just in from the touchline. Now towards Laporte. Rodri, they're working Georgia from side to side. Carvajal wraps it in low, and that was cleared away by Diwali.
Yeah, they're mixing up the cross as well, aren't they, Spain? Not everything's going high into the box. So the three big Georgian centre-backs who can deal with the high balls, I think.
And being backed by a partisan support behind that goal, hoping that it won't be breached. But I would say that on the evidence of this first 13 minutes, that is it's ominous for Georgia the way that Spain have started. Yamal, little flick by Pedri. Fabian, first time shot, blocked, comes to Rodri just outside the D with his back to goal. Cucurella, chance, doesn't have a shot at goal. Instead, Williams in his effort is looped up into the air, and then it's headed behind by Velusani.
Oh, this is so one-sided. I've got to say the block from Cashier was absolutely brilliant. Work to the edge of the box, wasn't it? Yamal, I think it was Ruiz who eventually got the shot off, and Cashier throwing himself in the line of the ball.
Williams with a corner kick, left-hand side. There was a clash of heads there inside the penalty area. Kochorashvili is the player who has gone down for Georgia, and it was Lenormand who tried to connect with that as well. So there is a stoppage in play. Lenormand is back on his feet, but Kochorashvili has still stayed down. 5 Live will be joining us, I reckon, in about a minute's time after the full debrief, which I'm sure on Sports Extra you would want the callers to have their say a little later on. 10:30.
Oh, absolutely. About getting the job done for Gareth Southgate and England into the quarter-finals, but I suspect we'll have our fair share of misery guts callers, Ian. Sometimes people are never happy.
That's it, you sell it to the listener. We're in the 15th minute here in Cologne.
England are saving
0-0.
themselves. That's what they're doing. It's all part of the plan.
Spain could easily be 2-0 up already at this stage. Cucurella, hurried back pass to Simon in the goal away towards our right hand side. A mere spectator as one solitary Spanish flag flies on this mild night here in Cologne. Cucurella comes forward midway through the Georgia half. Back then to Laporte. Cucurella, Fabian goes ahead of him. Morata, Pedri also loitering there or thereabouts outside the penalty area. Cucurella in field, Laporte. White shirts of Georgia just drop off once again. Yamal picks it up, looks to go on the outside, and Kochorashvili went with him. Last touch came off Kochorashvili, and it will be a corner kick to Spain. What is that, their 5th corner of the game already?
Yeah, and those duels in the wide areas. The Georgian wing-backs against Yamal and Williams.
Look for that near post run of Carvajal once again. In it comes, and the header from Laporte is off target. He was side on to goal, and it goes out for a goal kick here in Cologne, as we're about to welcome listeners to BBC Radio 5 Live. "16 minutes to be precise." Thank you, Mark, and welcome to all after the full debrief of that dramatic day in Gelsenkirchen, where England are through to the quarter-finals after beating Slovakia after extra time by 2-1. Spain 0, Georgia 0. But to be honest with you, Spain could already be 2-0 up because Mamardashvili made a save from a stretching Pedri after 4 minutes, and then a Carvajal near post header forced a very good reflex save from the overworked 23-year-old, who of course plies his trade in La Liga, the Valencia goalkeeper. So they'll know all about the strengths of Georgi Mamardashvili, and Georgia are still hanging in there. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, and Georgia have barely been in the Spanish half. Spain have been so dominant, as we expected. But I think if you really Signol, the Georgia coach, is thinking everything's gone to plan so far. They knew they're going to have to weather a big storm, but they haven't carried enough of a threat.
Kvaratskhelia did well on that far side, helped out now by Mikhailtadze, and they get the ball forward, and on this right-hand side, Kvaratskhelia with the cross. Kvaratskhelia! The first goal that Spain have conceded in the Euros! And Georgia with a complete sucker punch! Kvaratskhelia arriving! And Georgia might have got it off Lenormand! But what a surprise! What a story! What a scoreline! Georgia leads Spain by a goal to nil!
I was just saying that Georgia haven't carried enough of a threat. First attack, Kakabadze was brilliant against Portugal, out wide, whips the ball in, and it bounces just in front of Lenormand, who's under pressure from Kvaratskhelia. And he pops the ball into the back of his own net, it bounces up on him, off his left thigh. We've got a game on, we've got a shock on. First attack, Georgia score, take the lead. Can't believe this. Cannot believe it.
My oh my. Georgia, who are ranked 74th in the world, the lowest ranked side to reach the knockout stages of the Euros, and they are leading by a goal to nil. We questioned about how will they get Kvaratskhelia involved in the game. He's such a tricky customer. Lenormand didn't know where he was coming.
No, you're absolutely right. He was under pressure. Maybe felt Kvaratskelia's breath on his neck and he panicked. His body position, running back towards his own goal. He absolutely panics. If he misses it, Kvaratskhelia probably pops it in. One attack, one goal. That's efficient.
Georgia pick it up. Kvaratskhelia runs forward. Another break here for Georgia. Stopped by Lenormand. And all of a sudden Spain will pick it up. Not many people would have sniffed an upset in Cologne. Here is Williams. Still an awful long way to go. Williams passes the ball forward. Pedri tees up Fabian. Fabian on the edge of the area. Challenge comes in. They will defend as if their lives depend on it now, will Georgia. They were resilient already in these opening 10 minutes. They held firm and now they've got something to protect as Laporte swings over the cross. Remember, in qualifying for this Euros, it was an aggregate scoreline of 10-2 in favour of Spain. Even reaching this stage was the equivalent of winning the Euros for Georgia. But if they were to pull it off, that would be a story, and they would party long and hard into the night in Tbilisi, bearing in mind that they are 3 hours ahead of us in Georgia. 20 minutes played. Pedri. That was Lochoshvili. Kocherashvili forward, looking for Mikhailtadze. Williams tries to wrestle it back. Mikhailtadze tries to come back. Williams runs away from him. Kakabadze tries to get into the challenge. Good play by Kocherashvili, trying to run it away. Caught in possession. Rodri. Kakabadze. You can hear the excitement of the Georgian support every time they just try and quell a latest attack from Spain. There are cheers as Lamine Yamal closed down on that far side by Lochoshvili. Carvajal. 21 minutes played. Georgia are leading. Carvajal, 10 yards in from the right touchline. Rodri flicks it. Fabian shoots. Mamadashvili makes the save again. Further cheers for a goalkeeper who is fast becoming the goalkeeper of the tournament here in Germany.
Yeah, it's a decent strike from Fabian Ruiz. Right-hand side of the box. Ball sits up. Nice pass from Rodri. Strikes it. Mamadashvili down to his left-hand side. He's going to have to make plenty more saves this evening. If Georgia, you're going to sneak through somehow.
Here is Rodri, Pedri trying to turn on the edge of the D. Kvaratskhelia out to this near side. Mikatadze looked for the return, but instead of rolling it to his feet as he's made that running forward into the inside right channel, it's gone over the head of the Napoli player and through towards Unai Simon. If you've just joined us on BBC Radio 5 Live, on a day of real drama at the Euros, after England somehow scraped their way through, then Spain are behind here by a 1-0 to Georgia. Midway through the first half, Lenormand to Carvajal at a walking pace. Ball threaded through, Pedri turns, Fabian, Yamal tries to take it, blocked again by the Georgian defence, cleared, Lenormand out towards Carvajal right hand side, back towards Lenormand, credited with the own goal. Initially the screen by UEFA did say that it was a Kvaratskhelia goal, but it has been changed. Did touch Lenormand last. 23 minutes played. Not that they'll care one jot about that in Tbilisi at this moment. Can you imagine the scenes there as Williams, Cucurella, Laporte, Pedri with his back to goal. Yamal, 30 yards out, he's going to shoot. Can't thread a ball through. That was stopped very, very well by Kvitashvili. They get the ball out towards that far side, and it was Lochoshvili who was fouled just short of the halfway line, and a bit of respite as the rain is starting to fall here in Cologne. 1-0 to Georgia.
Yeah, a bit of breathing space for Georgia. Take a breath. I've got to say, they've defended brilliantly. Very, very organised, they're disciplined, but when the ball does go into the Georgian box, and has been into the Georgian box on many occasions, they defend it superbly.
Kvaratskhelia running forward, running at the heart of the Spanish defence. Mikatadze dispossessed by Williams. All of a sudden now they look stretched and they look vulnerable to Georgia as Fabian carries the ball midway through the Georgia half, switches it out towards the right. Good getting back that by, I think it was Lochoshvili, to stretch and head the ball away, and then helped out by Chakvetadze. Yeah, it'll be a throw to Spain.
He went the wrong side there. Fabian Ruiz went to the long ball from left to right rather than to Williams, who had made a brilliant run on his left-hand side.
They're snapping into the challenges. Certainly Pedri felt that latest one, as Rodri easily cut out by Kakubadze, and then dug out to clear by Belusani with his dark slick back hair. Now Laporte, Cucurella, back with the former Manchester City defender Laporte. Williams closed down by Kakubadze on this near side, helped out by Kocherashvili. Kvaratskhelia, everybody again back behind the ball, shot from distance from Rodri, took a deflection off the legs of Cashier, the veteran, the captain at the back. 37 next week on election day. Don't forget, BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds for the Euros, the election, Wimbledon, and even for the Glastonbury highlights. I was watching on the iPlayer the other day, Paul Heaton on the Pyramid stage, which I can recommend.
Have you been there?
To Glastonbury?
Yeah.
No. I'm not really into the camping. Rick Edwards is your man for that. He'll be on 5 Live breakfast between 6 and 9 in the morning from a campsite in Essen.
Is he in a campsite, really?
I think he is, yeah. Well, that's where he won't be staying, of course, but he'll be broadcasting from there.
I can't imagine Rick putting a tent up.
No, he'll get Jonathan, his producer, to do it for him. 26 minutes played. Spain 0, Georgia 1. Great noise coming from the Georgian support away towards our left-hand side. Laporte runs forward. Infield, Fabian, closed down. Back with Laporte. Cashier comes out of defence. Morata can't get a touch. This is Pedri! Lashed it wide, left-footed. Just entered the penalty area, couldn't keep it down. Goal kick. Georgia 1, Spain 0.
Yeah, intricate play from Pedri. Ball fizzed into him in a central area, 30 yards out. He plays round Ball round the corner with the outside of his right boot into Morata. Defended well, blocked, and it sits up for Pedri, who fires a shot from 18 yards, high and wide. They're getting frustrated, Spain are.
Kotrashvili did well in the midfield. Kakuvadze near side. Kotrashvili in field. Little flick over the top by Kitashvili. Thought he'd been impeded. The referee said not. The French referee, Francois Letexier. This is Fabian Ruiz. Looks to try and cut it through. Well cut out by Belusani. They are defending superbly, are Georgia.
Yeah, the three centre-halves playing really, really narrow. Belusani there. Ball was going to go through to Williams. Got across and made the challenge.
Ball hit forward. Morata with a layoff. Tries to link up with Yamal, but in the pouring rain he slips over, and it allows Luka Lochoshvili from Cremonese to bring the ball forward. His fourth appearance in this tournament, substituting the first two and then started against Portugal, but naming an unchanged side from that team that beat Portugal is their French coach Willy Sagnol, who, when he was in France in the Germany World Cup, part of the side that knocked out Spain in the last 16. Surely lightning couldn't strike twice. The ball is chipped out by Rodri. 29 minutes played. Spain seeing a lot of the ball, still dominating. Shot from distance, and that was hit wildly by Laporte, and it was off target. Goal kick.
You know what, Ian, I think that's a sign of the Spanish frustration. He's 30-35 yards out, high and wide. They're best when they're just popping the ball about at speed. Need to be patient. Good enough players where they can normally work an opening or two or even more.
Free kick taken very quickly by Georgia, so quickly in fact that the foul came in on Kotrashvili, and he's still down. Spain will now take advantage as they win the ball back. Pedri slips, falls over, dispossessed by Kitashvili. Break is on for Georgia. Kvaratskhelia running forward, ball on the inside, just couldn't find Chakvetadze. They've won it back. Shot comes in from Kotrashvili, and it's caught in the end by Unai Simon.
I tell you what,
they're a threat on the counter-attack.
They absolutely are. When they do go forward, they have such pace and got runners forward to support Kvaratskhelia and Mikatadze there. Kvaratskhelia just off with the pass, but they do look a danger.
Kakubadze alert as a right wing back with the interception, and then in his haste he stumbled and lost the ball, but he's quickly back there. It's a back five, but Kakubadze defending well. Williams left corner of the area. Spain still behind. Half an hour played. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Yamal cuts inside, shoots, blocked by Cashier, holding that defence together at the heart of that three-man defence as it then goes out towards that right-hand side. Back with Carvajal once more, just over 25 yards out from goal. Strokes it back, still not flapping at this stage, Spain. Here is Williams, tries to turn, but outnumbered 4-1, and the ball is chipped forward. Mikatadze running forward here now for Georgia. Kvaratskhelia is with him. Mikatadze goes down inside the area under the challenge from Lenormand, and Francois Letexier says no penalty, and now Spain will come forward, but they do have to be so wary of the Georgians on the break.
They do. I think Mikatadze, I don't know what Georgian is for you better than that. But the referee felt he went down too easily, and so did I. But I tell you what, Spain leaving Laporte and Lenormand 2v2 at the back, and they look a danger, carry a threat.
Wonderful noise inside the Rhine Energy Stadium, and there is a lot of energy certainly coming from that Georgian support as their side still lead by a 0-0 with 13 minutes to go to half-time. Lamine Yamal chips the ball in, good header away as well, covering by Belusani. because Morata was lurking 7 yards out. Out it goes, far side the right for a Spain throw. 5 Live, BBC Sounds.
He's always trying to get in between the couple of the Georgian centre-half. Morata, who is that old-fashioned type of number 9. Scored plenty of headed goals in his career, but hasn't had an impact so far. Let's have a look at that penalty claim from Mikitadze. No, he goes down far too easily.
Producer John has given you the opportunity to actually say you're better than that in Georgian, if you so wish.
Well, do you know what? I think it's Shenemaz Ukatezika. Shenemaz Ukatezika, Mikitadze.
Very good.
I think I may be better than that.
Ooh, that was a risky back pass. Almost got in Morata, but in the end it was Diwali who dealt with the threat. But they looked a little stretch on that occasion. Pedri tries to play it in. Came off the knee of Kocherashvili. Ball played forward by Kiteshvili. Releases Mikitadze. Out towards Kvaratskhelia, coming in now off that left-hand side. That's where we see him for Napoli. That's where he's a threat. And they get a corner kick to Georgia as they lead by a goal to nil. Playing really, really well.
Well, he just drifts out onto the left-hand side. And then he has only one thought in his mind. He drives at Lenormand, takes him on the inside, on his right foot. And Dani Carvajal getting back, making the challenge now. Here's an opportunity for Georgia. Big physical team.
Persistent light rain. Kvaratskhelia to take the corner kick, far side to left, delivered deep towards the far post and away from a jumping Kiteshvili. The last 10 years, Spain's only defeat against a team ranked outside the top 50 was Georgia in a friendly in 2016. They've won 36, they've drawn 3 and they've lost 1. This would be a major upset.
That's the third time you've brought a stat out. You're suggesting this is written in the stars tonight.
Lamine Yamal, I half expected you to say, what are you saying? Here is Rodri, but Cucurella, short forward ball. Cucurella with the shot, shoots, pushed out well by Mamardashvili. That is the 4th save that he's made in this first half. Strong wrists, but directing that low left-footed shot well away to safety on that far side and out for a throw.
It was pinged from Cucurella.
And then another good block coming in to prevent the cross from Fabian, and it goes behind for a corner kick.
I think the shot took a deflection. Yes, it did. Zipped into the surface. Dashvili down to his left-hand side. Comfortable save in the end. It's going to take something special to beat him, I can tell you.
Spain trailing, BBC Radio 5 Live. Corner on that far side, goes over the head of absolutely everybody and out for a goal kick. The lines are open now. 6:06 to speak to Robbie and Chris from 10 o'clock here on BBC Radio 5 Live. 08085 909 693.
Yep, no doubt, plenty of calls on the England display. Just see, does Laporte go down a little bit easily from the corner from...
And you want positive calls, don't you?
No, just any calls. Just, I don't think England's display was great, but they got the job done. Once again,
England's display was great. That rate, I'll be calling in.
Well, no, I said it wasn't great.
Oh, well, it wasn't great, I was going to say.
It wasn't, and I think Gareth could have been a bit more decisive with his substitutes.
Anyway, that's to come after this. As Spain coming forward, Carvajal goes to he slips in the wet conditions, and the ball just rolls out of play for a goal kick. And we've got about 8 minutes to go to half-time, and that Lenormand goal, an own goal, the first that Spain have conceded in this European Championship, is the difference between the two. Who would have thought that?
It is. But I tell you what, this is a massive 8 however many, 8-9 minutes, however long we've got to half-time for Georgia. Imagine them going in ahead of this Spanish team. But the longer the half has gone on, they've looked a bit more comfortable, but they won't get complacent. They can't get complacent because there's too much quality.
That's a lovely turn by Kotrashvili in the midfield. And now all of a sudden, Kiteshvili passes the ball out towards that far side, the left, where Chakmatadze now back with Lotrashvili. Forward ball. Mikhautadze has made the run. Kvaratskhelia waits for it. Mikhautadze chips it in. He thought about the overhead kick, did Kvaratskhelia. And all of a sudden there's a break on now. Slipped by Williams, but back to his feet. Kukurea knocked off the ball. Murata waits for it to roll in front of him. Out of the centre circle. Pedri scoops it first time. Now into the penalty area. Williams inside left channel. Brilliant save again by Mamardashvili. He is a man inspired in that Georgian goal. Kukurea, Rodri. Right corner of the area. Pedri. Back inside. Rodri. Chips it. Reaches Williams inside the penalty area. Williams. Rodri shoots. Rodri scores. Left-footed. Beats the efforts of Mamardashvili. The man for the big occasion with the equaliser. Low left-footed. Finds the bottom right-hand corner. We're back level at 1-1.
Well, it was always going to take something special to beat the Georgian goalkeeper in the form that he's been in this tournament. And it's a brilliant strike from Rodri from the edge of the box. They're patient, they actually work it well. Out wide right to Pedri. Rodri centrally. Pops it out to Nico Williams. Out on the left-hand side of the box. He pops it back to Rodri. Takes a touch, gets a shot off. Goes right into the corner. I don't know whether the Georgian players are suggesting there's a Spanish player, maybe Murata, in Mamardashvili's eye line, but the shot goes right in the corner. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. Hits the side netting from Rodri, left-footed, fizzes off the surface. And not even the brilliant Mamardashvili can save that.
They're checking the goal.
Well, I wonder was there an initial offside when the ball was popped out from Rodri to Williams?
Yes. Potential offside leading up to the goal.
This is another big toe. Another big toe.
The Georgian support are excited because inside this Rhine Energy Stadion in Cologne, it's come up on the giant screens at either corner, at either end of this stadium here, that there is a goal check. But the check is over, we are informed, so this goal will stand. Jerome Brissard, and the goal is awarded, and we are at 1-1. And that excitement now is replaced by Spanish celebrations at the opposite end of the ground. 1-1.
Yeah, I said a couple of moments ago, it was a big 8-9 minutes for Georgia to get to half-time if they could stay ahead, but Spain worked the ball so well. I've got to say, Williams has been a bigger threat on that left-hand side than Yamal off the right-hand side for Spain. And it's Rodri with the strike, brilliant strike from the edge of the box, gets them level.
Well, Kiteshvili has picked up an injury and is going to have to be replaced, and it is Altunashvili, who plays his football in Austria for Wolfsberger, who's going to be coming on. He actually made his debut against Spain about 3 years ago in a 4-1 defeat. So Altunashvili has come on to replace Kiteshvili 4 minutes before half-time for Georgia. As now we are at 1-1 here in the closing stages of this first half on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Williams running forward, stopped by Kakubadze. Kukurea tries to help him out. I can't work out if Rodri struck it as he just entered the penalty area, but if it was just outside the box, that'll be the first goal at the Euros that Spain have scored outside a penalty area since Raúl against Slovenia in 2000. Their last 55 goals have all been scored inside the penalty area. As Williams runs forward, sends over a cross. Mind you, 1-1, Georgia would have still taken this at the start of the game.
No, absolutely. Hang on in the game, they're still well in it, and they have carried a big enough threat on occasion when they have gone forward, looked a real danger. I don't want to disappoint you, I thought that Rodri may have just been inside the box, so that stat was totally useless.
Well, it's not actually, because then it extends that impressive run to 56 goals. At half-time, I am sure we'll be hearing a reaction from England somehow navigating their way through to the last 8. And don't forget the Football Daily podcast for all the reaction via BBC Sounds, as well as podcasts such as the Match of the Day Top 10 Most Controversial Moments of the Euros. But here we are with 2 minutes to go to half-time. Still the light rain falling. Georgia 1, Spain 1 for what has been an enjoyable first half. Georgia have been a side that have certainly conjured up a fair share of drama, thrills and spills amongst the way here in Germany. That terrific opening game against Turkey where they were beaten by 3-1. And you still wouldn't rule them out the way that they've been able to break with a little bit of menace as Morata was caught. I think it might have been Lochoshvili, and Morata is the one who's been shown the yellow card by the French referee. Oh, he's got in over the top.
He does, yeah.
So
Lochoshvili goes to ground, doesn't he? And Morata sees him coming. I think that's a bit naughty. Stands on his foot. I wouldn't say that that's really excessive force, but a bit petty. So in the frustration from Morata, who's had a quiet first half.
60 seconds remaining of this first half here in Cologne. Still 1-1 as Kashir plays it back to Belusani. Out to Kakadzadze on this side, takes a deflection. Fabian almost fell over, but steadied himself and found Rodri, the goal scorer, who got the equalising goal for Spain. There will be 2 minutes of additional time, which we're not actually at this stage. Yamal, back heel from Pedri, worked out to Fabian, now to Cucurella on the overlap, 6 yards up from the byline, left-hand side. Fabian sweeps over the cross, good header out. Referee spotted a push there on Kashir, and that will be a free kick. Don't forget as well that Wimbledon starts tomorrow. Day 1 of Wimbledon, Claire McDonald and Gigi Salmon from 1 o'clock. And then at 5 we've got France, Belgium, and at 8 o'clock Portugal against Slovenia. So another busy day on BBC Radio 5 Live as we are now into the 2 minutes of added on time. And it is Georgia 1, Spain 1.
Yes, it is. And Lochoshvili popping a ball. Long ball down the pitch, direct. But Spain will be relieved. They're back in this game. And that goal from Rodri, and once again pushing the Georgians back.
They're coming forward once again with Fabian Ruiz out to Williams, keeps the ball in play with his second touch on this near side, the left, playing from right to left as we look. Yamal has come into a central area. Out towards that far side is Carvajal, back towards the teenager once again. Can't find a way through those white and red shirts at the moment. As Pedri, diminutive figure, passes the ball. Yamal cuts inside, left-footed shot, good block comes in from Kvaratskhelia. Passing it out to that right-hand side once again, there was Laporte. Pedri stays out wide. 10 yards up from the byline, far side, delivers the cross. Morata waits, good header out by Belusani. Comes to Williams, touches it to Cucurella. Cross first time, blocked. Stooping header forward by Laporte. Williams on this near side. Drifts out towards the touchline. Back then to Laporte once again. Georgia have everybody back. Can they go into the break level at 1-1? As Rodri out towards Yamal, right corner of the area, slips it into the penalty area. Carvajal towards the byline, another good sliding challenge in the wet conditions by Lochoshvili, behind for a Spanish corner, their 7th of the game.
They popped the ball around really well to Spain. Work a little underlap on that right hand side. Carvajal to the byline, but blocked once again.
Still at 1-1, first half stoppage time in Cologne. It's a deep corner and it's headed away by Luka Lochoshvili at the far post. Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper, has been linked quite heavily with Newcastle United, has certainly made a number of saves. 5, I think we've calculated in this first half to keep Spain at bay. Williams with the corner kick, didn't beat the first man, headed out by Altunashvili, and there is the half-time whistle. And it's the Georgian support who rise to their feet to applaud their players, because they have defended stoutly. They took a surprise lead on the counter-attack. An own goal in the end it was credited to by Lenormand. And then 6 minutes before half-time, Rodri with the equaliser, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, enthralling first half. Georgia hanging on in there at the start. Couple of decent saves from Mamardashvili, the Georgian goalkeeper, and then the first time they got up the pitch, good cross from Kakabadze, and Normand running back towards his own goal, bundled the ball in, past Unai Simon, and Georgia had the lead. And then just before half time, it was going to take something pretty special to beat the Georgian goalkeeper, and that came from Rodri. Decent strike from the edge of the box, but Georgia still well in this and carrying enough of a threat when they do counter to give Spain 1 or 2 problems. Very much game on in this second half.
Such a dramatic day on BBC Radio 5 Live. Half-time in Cologne. Spain 1, Georgia 1. No, very much so. 1-1 here. Neither side has made a change at half-time. Georgia taking the lead through a Lenormand goal after 18 minutes, and then Rodri on the edge of the area 6 minutes before half-time with the equaliser. But certainly Mamardashvili, the Georgian goalkeeper, made at least 5 excellent saves in that first half. So Spain have had 6 on target, they've had 16 altogether, and the official stats say that Georgia, despite scoring, are yet to have a shot on target because of that own goal. A reminder then of the two teams. Simon is in goal for Spain. They made the 10 changes against Albania, and Luis de la Fuente has made those changes once again, so they've had a good rest. His first 11 with the exception of Laporte, who played against the Albanians. Carvajal, Lenormand, Laporte and Cucurella. The defence, Fabian, Rodri, Pedri in the midfield. Yamal, Williams and Morata are the front three, and Morata looks to play the ball in, and then a quick back heel towards Fabian, who hits it on the edge of the area right-footed and drags it wide. Red shirts, navy shorts, now playing from left to right as we look, are Spain against the Georgian side, all in white with the exception of that red vertical stripe going through the middle of their shirt. And they have Mamardashvili in goal, a back three of Velusani, Kashir, Dvali. Lochoshvili is the left wing back, Kakabadze is the right wing back. Altunashvili came on during the first half to replace Kajashvili. Also in the midfield we've got the Watford player Chakbatadze as well as Kotrashvili, and then we've got Kvaratskhelia and Mikatadze as the two strikers. He's scored in each of his previous 3 games, has George Mikatadze, but they have had moments on the break to cause a bit of Spanish consternation. But as the second half is underway here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Spain are attacking where their supporters are housed in that bottom tier of this compact Rhine Energy Stadion in Cologne, in the beautiful city, this riverside city. As there's a mistake, and straight away latching onto that is Mikatadze, but then coming across was Laporte and deals with it as Altunashvili also tries to break from the ranks, but then quickly retreats to get back into position. But not many people would have expected Spain to have fallen behind. We gave you their record in recent major tournaments in the last 16, not been plain sailing down the like a cruise on the River Rhine. as a cross from Morata is too deep, and it's going to go not out of play. It's going to be kept in play by Cucurella. Far side, rolls it in, and cleared by Velusani out for a throw. Chris.
Yep, same pattern as in the first half. Georgia, that back five sitting deep. They've got the narrow three in midfield in front of them, and then the two forwards that they're sat in, making it difficult for Spain. Spain quick and fluid with the passing, trying to create little openings. I don't think anything's going to change with the Georgia approach.
Rodri to Carvajal. Pedri dispossessed in the midfield. Break on again. Kvaratskhelia running forward, and he's gone for an ambitious effort. Unai Simon is off his line, and it just goes wide. Great vision by Kvaratskhelia. He's such a talent. He was running at pace. He was just over the halfway line, and he hit a left-footed shot on the run. Didn't get the elevation, and it probably ran, I don't know, a foot wide of the left-hand post. Unai Simon was really struggling to get back.
Well, what was Unai Simon doing? I mean, it's clueless goalkeeping to actually give Kvaratskhelia the opportunity, but you're right, Ian, wonderful vision on the halfway line when he got a shot off with his left foot, and I tell you what, it's only a couple of yards wide, Simon's right-hand post.
The longest goal ever scored in the history of the European Championship was Patrick Schick. Remember that one against at Hampden against Scotland in the last Euros? I think it was measured at 47 yards. That was probably a little bit further away. Kvaratskhelia was unlucky. Spain meanwhile are attacking. Lamine Yamal runs in field. He looks to link up. Lamine Yamal, he was sized down. The referee, I think, looked to try and play the advantage, and now awards the direct free kick inside the D in a very central area. 1-1-5 live.
Yeah, it's good from Yamal. He's had a pretty quiet evening so far, but in off the right-hand side on that left foot, feeds the ball into Pedri, who, guess what, finds a little pocket of space. Pedri sets it back. Yamal looks to shoot, takes it past, I think it was Cassia, who lunges towards him and gives away the free kick. 20 yards out, would you say, Ian?
Well, it's not hard, it's inside the D.
It's like that, is it?
It's central, fractionally maybe right of centre. You've got Williams right-footed, or Lamine Yamal off his left foot. He's a left-footed right winger, so
what do you think, right-footer or left-footer here, Ian?
I'm going to go with Yamal. Who do you think will be your man? Georgia have got everybody back. 1-1. 5 minutes into the second half. Williams leaning forward on his toes. It will be Yamal. Good save by Mamardashvili. Hit it left-footed, curling its way in, and then at full stretch, Mamardashvili away to his right, two-handed save. Comes out towards Pedri. Passes the ball out towards Lamine Yamal. Chips the ball in towards the penalty area. And the header at the far post. Fabian with the header. His second goal of the tournament. Nobody picked it up. And Spain have come from behind. And they lead by 2 goals to 1.
Gotta say, initially, the save from the free kick was excellent. Mamardashvili to his right-hand side. Yamal telegraphed it, goalkeeper side. Still a decent save. But then they keep the ball alive. Mamardashvili palms the ball out. Morata keeps it alive on the left-hand side. And then the ball is switched quickly across to the right-hand side of the box. Yamal on his left foot. And Fabian Ruiz just drifts in at the far post. It's a wonderful cross. He's a yard or two onside. And he's 3 yards out when he plants a header. Mamardashvili makes his best attempt to save it. It actually comes off his hip and goes in. He's made some incredible saves in this tournament. Cannot keep that one out. And Spain, deservedly, you have to say, in the balance of play, in front.
And their coach, Luis de la Fuente, who had his 63rd birthday last week, has made a change, and it is Pedri, who has gone off as Georgia have given the ball away to Olmo, who's just come on. Lamine Yamal shoots, left-footed, off target, out for a goal kick. So Pedri off, and Dani Olmo has come on for his third appearance at this Euros. Substitute against Croatia, the start against Albania, and the Leipzig midfielder is on, and Spain are 2-1 up here with 8 minutes into the second half. It was probably good whilst it lasted.
Yep, and now Georgia, they've got a problem, haven't they? Because the game plan was to sit deep and defend and counter-attack. Spain have had all the control, but now Georgia are behind. They're going to have to tweak their game plan. May not do it immediately. They're going to have to press the Spanish higher up the pitch. But Spain, they're so good in possession, good decision makers. Rodri, Fabian Ruiz now, they'll dictate the play. But when will Georgia really have to put the foot to the floor?
Cucurella far side the left. Morata comes deep. They've always had the control, they've created the chances, but they were just being frustrated by the resilience of this Georgian side, as Fabian to Rodri, cut out and should be brought clear. Dispossessed though on that far side was Kakubadze. Interception on this near side by Lochoshvili. He'll run forward the left wing back. Yamal snapping away, manages to release it. Kvaratskhelia on this near side the left. Kvaratskhelia comes in, tried to pass the ball to Mikhautadze. Here is Fabian once again. He is everywhere. I was told that he started out wide initially, and when he was at Napoli they moved him inside, and he's just a terrific midfielder. Gets forward, box to box, as Williams to Cucurella. Rodri leaves it for Morata. Morata with the shot, off target, right-footed. Mamardashvili had it covered. That will be a goal kick, but Spain are leading by 2-1.
Yeah, Morata. Speculative effort from maybe 22 yards. Never with Mamardashvili's left-hand post. Drags it wide. But Georgia still fighting, scrapping. They've played with plenty of heart and soul, haven't they? And now they've got to carry a bigger threat to this Spanish team and try and push them back.
Here's Chakmatadze. He's done well. He runs forward, but it was a ball that was always going and too far ahead of Kvaratskhelia on this near side the left. There were reports that the former Prime Minister, Ishnishvili, who's a billionaire, had pledged to gift the players £8.4 million for beating Portugal, and another 8.4 if they could beat Spain.
If only we got bonuses like that.
I'm saying nothing. Cucurella. Fabian is forward. Incidentally, the current Prime Minister and President, they're both here tonight watching on as Kvaratskhelia runs forward. Took 4 Spanish defenders to deal with Kvaratskhelia. Lenormand, that was risky, sliding in, and that might be a foul and a yellow card for Altunashvili. Shaven-headed midfielder, he saw an opportunity, he dived in, and he caught Cucurella.
It's pathetic from Cucurella though. He does catch him, but Cucurella does 2 backward rolls, and then he gets up. I'll tell you what was noticeable there, when Kvaratskhelia was driving with the ball, you noticed it as well, very perceptive of you, but the Spanish players, 4 of them, getting around him. He's the danger man, isn't he? He's the threat. You need to pay him special attention. Danny back on his feet as well, guess what? Nothing wrong with him.
The voice of Chris Sutton on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds as we approach the hour mark. Spain 2, Georgia 1. We know that England will play Switzerland in Dusseldorf on Saturday, 5 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live. The winners of this will play Germany in Stuttgart 24 hours earlier, as Carvajal down the line to Lamine Yamal. Looks to try and tease his man and goes in between Lotchoshvili and also Altunashvili. Carvajal.
Such wonderful feet, doesn't he? Yamal, let's keep the ball off you in the telephone box.
Here is Williams on the far side. Fabian waits, tried to pass it forward, blocked by Altunashvili, and out it goes for a throw to Spain. Looking to maintain their winning run. They'll be looking for 10 competitive victories in succession. Last time they achieved that was 2016. But Luis de la Fuente, their coach, who's tasted success with the under-19s 9 years ago and the under-21s back in 2019, is now looking for a hat-trick for his country. And they have come from behind to lead here in Cologne, alongside the sweet-smelling Chris Sutton. Yamal up against Lotchoshvili behind for a corner kick.
It's been a good battle, that, all night. Yamal driving the outside. Mature play from the youngster, not always being predictable, and coming inside on that left foot is always looking to set defenders up for that.
Corner taken short and taken quickly. Yamal rolls it in, hit first time by Olmo, blocked by Kvaratskhelia. That first touch by Cucurella. In the end, it was a back pass by Fabian that Unai Simon took down quite high on the chest outside his penalty area. Now launched it downfield, headed forward by Lotchoshvili. In the midfield is Rodri. He got the equaliser. As Cucurella passes the ball back to Lenormand, and we're now in the 60th minute of this contest in Cologne on 5 Live. And the Spanish supporters are jumping up and down in that end away towards our right, the bottom tier, and then on the stand on the far side in the top tier as well. Jumping up and down in unison. The red and yellow of the Spanish support, but still the beat of the drum. The Georgian fans still clinging to the hope that they might salvage something. But Yamal cuts inside now, looks towards Morata. Going to have to get rid of this rather quickly inside their penalty area, and Kakubadze will run it out wide and then clears it on that far side, the right, but easily dealt with by Laporte, stepping forward, rolls down off his chest, touches the ball to Cucurella. Forward ball as Yamal has drifted to the left where Williams is. Triangular passing patterns between the Spanish players now, still 2-1 up.
Yeah, they're popping the ball around nonchalantly, aren't they? And Georgia happy still to not engage, just to sit back on the edge of the box, back 5, 3 in front. Just be difficult to play through at this moment. That has to change. Maybe another 15 minutes and then they may go for broke. But at this moment in time, they're being patient, Georgia, with their defending.
Williams, Yamal in field. Fabian passes the ball square. This is Olmo with a shot. Was off target. Struck the legs of Guram Kashir. Georgia will now maybe break through Mikhautadze on this near side, but stopped by Lenormand. Again, they only had he and Kvaratskhelia on the far side, but there was the hunger of the Spanish players once more. 4 red shirts around him to snuff out that attack.
Yeah. They're working so hard, Spain, when they're out of possession. Brilliant on the ball. They're working really well. They know that the job isn't done just yet.
They do lead though by 2-1. Every outfield player in the half away towards our right hand side. This is Carvajal. Down the line he goes. Yamal. Back then to Carvajal. Lenormand outside the centre circle. Cucurella. Williams provides the width, far side the left. Morata drops short, then also drifts out towards the left. Here is the captain of Spain, linking up with a couple of touches from Cucurella. now with Laporte just trying to draw those white shirts out, as there looks like there's going to be a double change for Georgia. The ball headed away by Galusani. Hakubadze. This now is Kochurashvili. They've been caught. Here is Yamal, and he's put it wide. Presented with an opportunity inside the penalty area, killed it left-footed wide of the left-hand post. 2-1, Spain still lead.
Yeah, careless from Kochurashvili inside his own box when he receives the ball. He's 12 yards out, turns, is under pressure. I think Olmo puts him under pressure, and he just hooks the ball to Yamal, who takes the ball on inside the 18-yard box. He should score, and he hits the ball wide, left-footed of Mamardashvili's right-hand post. They weren't ruthless enough against Italy. Spain, in the group stage of this tournament, they need to be ruthless this evening to pop Georgia out.
They're changing it now, so Lochoshvili, who was playing as the left wing-back, has gone off to be replaced by Georgi Tsitaishvili, who plays for Dynamo Kiev. He's a left winger. Whether he's able to get as forward as that, I'm not necessarily too sure, judging the way that Spain are attacking. And the other change is Watford's Georgi Chakvetadze has gone off the field of play, and Zuriko Davidashvili, who plays for Bordeaux, 23-year-old midfielder, he has come on as his replacement. Spain, though, are attacking. This is Fabian, onto his right boot, turns. Quite a large 360-degree turn. Cucurella, Williams, far side to left, level with the penalty area. Cucurella dives forward as well. Short little darting run. 2-1 though, Spain still lead here. 64 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as I think that light rain has finally ceased here in Cologne. The Olays from the Spanish support. Williams far side to left, tries to nudge it past his man, and it will go behind and out for a corner kick to Spain. Chris Sutton.
It's always a lovely sight when you see wingers, talented wingers, driving with the ball, and Williams, such a young talent, caused all sorts of problems this tournament. The defences drive inside, outside. Tremendous player.
Corner taken short left-hand side. Lamine Yamal, who was the recipient of that ball from Williams, had his cross blocked behind for another corner kick once again. Spain look very comfortable now and didn't really panic, if truth be told. Still kept on pressing and probing even when they were a goal down. Williams swings it in towards the near post, and the last touch came off Lenormand, who at that end in the first half had scored an own goal, and a little ricochet away off the shins and behind for a goal kick. Spain now are going to make changes. Every player bar the third choice goalkeeper Alex Romero has already featured in this tournament, but we're going to see Grimaldo, who's going to be coming on. He made his first appearance with that start against Albania, and Mikel Oyarzabal is going to come on for what will be his fourth appearance at these Euros as well, the Real Sociedad striker. And it's Cucurella who will go off for Grimaldo, so that's going to be like for like, isn't it?
Yep, just fresh legs on, and Morata coming off, Oyarzabal coming on, that's like for like as well.
So Morata, who was of course booked earlier in the game, comes off, and so Oyarzabal will come on to replace the Spanish captain, with 24 minutes remaining on BBC Radio 5 Live. 6:06 is coming up at 10 o'clock. 08085 909 693. Robbie Savage, Clinton Morrison, and of course Chris Sutton taking your calls. There'll be further reaction and reflection on England's getting out of jail in Gelsenkirchen earlier, and breakfast tomorrow morning with Rachel and Rick from 6 till 9. And don't forget the Football Daily, the podcast that will give you all the latest here in Germany from our comprehensive coverage, as the Georgian support with the thunderclap away towards our left. Wonderful support, staying with their team right the way through for what has been a historic first major tournament for Georgia, reaching the knockout stages on their Euros debut. But 2-1 down, and what a moment it was when they took the lead. But Spain are in control as Williams inside to Olmo. That was a sharp turn, then he slips, and Guram Kashir will play the ball forward. Kvaratskhelia out to the near side. Opportunity for Tsaitashvili. Back then to Velusani at the back. Right hand side, Kakubadze. Kvaratskhelia able to turn. Opened up here for Tsaitashvili, who shoots left-footed. You're thinking if he goes across goal, might have been a better opportunity. As it is, he lashed it left-footed off target for a goal kick, and the Georgians still trail by 2-1.
Kvaratskhelia, brilliant touch, lets the ball run across his body and switches the play from right to left. No, it's a wild effort, isn't it? Eyes lit up there. Went for glory. Right to have a shot at goal, but should have fired it towards the far corner. Ended up inadvertently lashing the ball into the stand behind Simon's goal. Just a bit of composure needed in that situation.
Went for the glory. There was no glory for Georgia on that occasion. As Rodri runs forward, out of the centre circle in the Georgia half, out towards the far side, looking for Grimaldo. Laporte squares the ball right to the centre circle. Lenormand, Carvajal, Yamal. Certainly hasn't been as straightforward as that 7-1 victory in qualifying in Tbilisi. As this is Grimaldo, edge of the area, back towards Fabian, who's hit it first time left-footed, and it's off target, and it will be a goal kick. But I know you were meant to appear on 5 Live Sport earlier on, and for whatever reason they said that you could have a little bit of a relaxing 10 minutes or so. But if you had have appeared, you'd have heard Guillaume Balaguer saying about how that result in Tbilisi, they didn't have boots 24 hours before the game. That was like a turning point to try and create an environment that they've built on as a catalyst, if you like, for the success that they've had. As here is Mekutadze looking to try and link up with Davashvili. They've lost the ball though on the left hand side. Olmo in field. Fabian. 2-1 to Spain. 20 minutes remaining on 5 Live. Olmo was caught.
That's naughty, that.
And that's going to be a yellow card to Davashvili, the Bordeaux midfielder. Indeed he is booked.
Yeah, it's a poor challenge. It really is. Dirty from Davashvili. Catches Olmo late. Yeah, I'll listen to what Guillaume had to say on the Football Daily tomorrow, Ian. Thanks for that. I was stood down actually for that programme this afternoon. There's a decision made, I don't know why.
Here is Olmo, Rodri, 75% possession. Grimaldo far side to left. Williams is also there. Just wondering about the local time here. We've got, we're all right. It's 10:30. They're quite strict on this German working directive, as Grimaldo will send over the cross. Lamine Yamal, because he's under 18, he can't be seen to be working past 11 o'clock at night. The Spanish Federation could get a fine with the German authorities. Oh, that was a risky back pass, but Mamadashvili was there and passes it forward. This is Altunashvili.
So hang on a minute, so if this goes to extra time,
if Yamal stayed on the pitch past 11 o'clock, the Spanish Federation could be fined, because the German working directive
so
is...
You think they would be fined?
Just saying. Anyway, it's not going to go to extra time. We've got 18 minutes remaining of normal time.
Just say to you, get a life if that's the sort of thing you're looking up.
I wondered maybe that's why you were dropped earlier on. They were trying to make sure that you complied with the German working directive.
Well,
Can't
that's
have you-
interesting because I actually worked last night.
Well, that's something, yeah.
Where were you?
Here is Fabian Ruiz. You'll be working after the game's finished as well, with 6:06 on its way. 080859 99693. You know the number by now. Here is Williams. He's at a walking pace. Back with Grimaldo. They look comfortable now, Spain.
Yeah, they do. Since the second goal has gone in, it's still the same shape, same approach from Georgia. Said before, Ian, it's just when they are going to be braver. It has to come soon.
Well, they are comfortable, but it is still only a slender scoreline.
They can't wait for the last 5 minutes, surely.
Well, England left it mightily late. It was too close for comfort as Yamal takes over, darts in towards the penalty area, gets it back, Yamal squares it, oh, it's gone in, it's an own goal. It's gone in, and the flag is up on this near side, and Belusani, who dived in, put his hands to his head, will be a very relieved man to see the flag shown on this near side, and it remains Spain leading Georgia by 2-1.
Well, Yamal does really well. Ooh, it's a tight one. There's a little give and go. I think it's with Olmo. Plays a 1-2. First of all, he fires the ball into Dani Carvajal. Gets the ball back, drives on. And then I do think my first impression, just offside. Left-footed into Olmo, follows his run. And then, I don't think it would have been an own goal, wouldn't it? But here is offside.
Yeah.
Correct decision.
Very good decision. But it was tight, but Spain still lead 2-1 here in Cologne. Wimbledon, of course, underway tomorrow, 1 o'clock with Claire McDonald and Gigi Salmon. And then 2 more games, France-Belgium at 5 and Portugal-Slovenia at 8 o'clock as Georgia attack. Mikatadze running forward, gets it out towards Davachvili. Tried to pass the ball forward, but again a number of red shirts back, and all of a sudden Georgia have committed 2 men forward. And now it's with Williams, and they do look exposed, and Williams danced round his man and scored a fine goal. That was brilliant by Williams. Georgia were exposed, and Williams with a fine goal will surely send Spain now into the last 8. And a showdown with the hosts in Stuttgart, Germany. 3-1.
Well, this is absolutely ruthless from Spain. Georgia threw bodies forward. I've got to say, Fabian Ruiz, you've been crowing about him all evening, and quite rightly so. On the edge of his box, little Cruyff turn, shifts the ball onto his left foot and spots Williams in that left-hand channel. Fires a 30-40 yard ball out to him, and Williams drives with the ball into the Georgian box, drifts round a Georgian defender onto his right foot, looks up. It's going to take something special, as we know to be Mamardashvili in the Georgian goal. Hammers the ball right-footed into the roof of the net. Brilliant finish, and that his game, set, match. No way back from Georgia, for Georgia from this. Wonderful finish, wasn't it?
Belusani was the defender, and because of the pace and the trickery of Williams, you could see that he just didn't want to commit. He didn't want to make that challenge. It was too quick for him.
Well, do you know what as well? What was clever from Williams? He drives the outside, goes to the left-hand side, is always looking to come in on that right foot. And then there wasn't a challenge, risk of giving away a penalty, but wonderful composure from the 21-year-old, just to steady himself and fire the ball into the roof of the net. And now, I mean, Georgia, this could turn ugly, but they're retreating again.
And Fabian Ruiz, he got an assist for the first goal from Morata against Croatia. He then got on the score sheet. He's already on the score sheet, as you just said then. His ball out from, 25 yards out from his own goal. Lofted forward ball, great vision, as Williams could be in again here. collects the pass from Olmo. Williams pulls it back. Here is Olmo, and in the end it lacked the power. He was on the stretch right-footed, and it was a comfortable save for Mamardashvili.
That should have been for Olmo. Big opportunity, easy save in the end, but Williams, what great feet, what great awareness, unselfish, fed the ball to Olmo, 10 yards out, weak, tame finish.
6:06 is coming up. 08085 909 693. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds for all the coverage for the Euros, the election, Wimbledon, or even the Glastonbury highlights if you so wish. But with 12 minutes remaining, I'm sure that after everybody's settled down and calmed down after that narrow escape against Slovakia, there'll be some considered thoughts to yourself, Robbie and Clinton.
Well, I think we may see both sides of the argument. There are fans of Gareth and there are fans who aren't happy with Gareth Southgate and his team. Tournament football, though, Ian, it's about winning.
Georgia are going to be making a couple of changes as well in these late stages. Zivzivadze is going to be coming on. Had a very good season with Karlsruhe, so he's a forward player who's going to be coming on, and we're waiting to see who that will be. Mikau Tadze, who has gone off, so that's like for like. Budo Zivzivadze coming on for Mikau Tadze, and then the other player who has come on, as there was a slip by Unai Simon, is Kvek Veskiri, who plays for Lech Poznan, who's a defensive midfielder, for his first appearance for Georgia at the Euros, and he has replaced Gvelusani. So they're probably going to go with a back four now for these closing stages with 11 minutes remaining. Indeed they have, and the rain has returned in Cologne. Spain are leading by 3-1 and are on course to be playing Germany in Stuttgart on Friday in that quarter-final at 5 o'clock that you'll hear on BBC Radio 5 Live, as the Spanish supporters try and set off a Mexican wave over on that far side of the ground here in Cologne. But just over 10 minutes remaining.
Yep, and they've got a lot of work to do. Spain in total control as the rain comes down. It's not the rain in Spain, but it's Spain who may reign in this tournament, Ian.
Rodri, Yamal, man over on the right is Carvajal, onto his left foot, plays it inside, the return ball from Olmo, Yamal is in, and Yamal just can't dink it over. Mamardashvili has gone behind for another corner kick. The way that he links up with Olmo, he is a delight to watch.
He is.
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, he's got a great understanding. Everything looks so easy. Languid look about him, hasn't he? Fires the ball into Olmo, comes back. Gotta say, what a save again from Mamardashvili. Stands big. Hits him on the chest. How many saves has he made?
A lot. Must be approaching, I would say, double figures. As Carvajal and Fabian are coming off, Spain are going to make a double change. Rodri is another player coming off as well. No, in fact, not Rodri coming off. Marino has come on. Rodri was walking to this side of the pitch. Corner kick meanwhile is taken by Grimaldo. Keeper's come. Well, there was a foul on Mamardashvili.
How many have... I'm confused now. You've confused me. How many have come off?
No, I was watching Rodri coming off, but it was...
was it a double or treble change?
It was a double change in the end. Jesus Navas has replaced Carvajal. When he played against Albania, he became Spain's oldest player at a major tournament, beating Andoni Zubizarreta back in the World Cup in '98. So he has come on, the 38-year-old Jesus Navas, formerly, of course, of Manchester City. So he has replaced Carvajal. He was on a yellow card, but he's managed to navigate his way through the game without being suspended. And then that other change was Marino, former Newcastle player, who's appeared in every game so far here at the Euros. They're coming forward once more, Spain. This is Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal shoots onto his left foot. Didn't go for the left side. Tried to squeeze it at the near post. Dragged it off target. And that will be a goal kick. And Spain, in a pouring rain, lead by 3-1.
Yeah, that understanding between Olmo and Yamal. Olmo unselfish, popping the ball out to Yamal, right hand side of the box, always trying to get in on that left foot, trying to give the Georgian goalkeeper the eyes on that occasion, dragging it past the near post.
7 minutes remain. Olmo with a turn, cleared by Diwali. Ball played back into Olmo, good footwork, and Olmo, left-footed, plunks the ball past a flat-footed Mamardashvili. And Spain have a 4th goal, and that sets up the mouth-watering clash against Germany in the quarter-finals. Spain 4, Georgia 1.
I tell you what a Spanish bench can bring the likes of Dani Olmo on, and I tell you what, the finish is so clever, so good. He's been lively, hasn't he, since he's come on. Georgia have become slightly ragged at the back. Maybe they're tiring. Great little shift. Lets the ball on his right foot, shifts it onto his left foot. Wrong foot's Mamardashvili in the Georgian goal and feeds the ball, slides the ball with a bit of bend on left-footed into the right-hand corner of the Georgian net. 4-1. This is a stroll now for Spain. They are the team to beat, Ian, as far as I can see.
4 wins from 4, and they'll come up against the top goal scorers and the host Germany in this competition on Friday. What a game that will be in Stuttgart. Bearing in mind that they'd already navigated through the hardest group in the group stages, albeit against a dreadful Italy team and Croatia, but they are on their best winning run for 8 years. Got a good camaraderie in the team camp. Everybody's had an appearance by that third choice goalkeeper. They're able to rest players. There's still that element of freshness about them, that because now the nature of this scoreline, he's brought Olmo off the bench, Moreno off the bench, Jesus Navas, Grimaldo, Oyarzabal. Made his 5 changes as Luis de la Fuente, and they are looking very, very good.
Yeah, they absolutely are, but how good is that game going to be against the hosts, Germany?
Williams picks up the ball 6 yards inside the Georgia half. Williams passes the ball out far wide. Oyarzabal now on the left-hand side, chips it deep. It'll be collected by this near side for Jesus Navas, and then can't keep the ball in play. If you read the Spanish newspapers, you know, after they'd beaten Albania, you know, earlier in actually no, it was the Italy game. You know, they had a picture of Williams and Lamine Yamal, envy of Europe. They're starting to believe in Spain. They're starting to get on board the ship being steered by Luis de la Fuente.
Oh, what other newspapers do you read other than the Spanish ones then? Is it all countries in the Euros?
No. Just keep abreast of what's going on in Espanyol. 4 minutes remaining, and Spain are 4-1 up. 6:06 coming up very, very soon here on 5 Live. Still the red and white 5 cross Georgian flags are still being waved with a degree of pride despite the scoreline in the end away towards our left-hand side. 6:06, about 15 minutes away. Cashiers tried to play the ball out from the back, caught by Rodri. They had a man over, they couldn't utilise.
They had 3 men over there. And Rodri actually wasteful with the pass. That's not like him.
Zivzivadze passes the ball out to the left. Kvaratskhelia now takes over, runs at pace, tries to wriggle his way through into the penalty area. Jesus Navas goes to ground and forces the ball behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, he's a lovely mover, isn't he? Kvaratskhelia. Can't take your eyes off him. He's driving with the ball.
It's his name that is being chanted by the Georgian fans behind that goal as he takes the corner, delivers it, comes off the head of a leaping Laporte and behind for a corner kick.
Kvaradona, he's known in Naples. Napa,
you only know that because I told you that. I told you that in the taxi on the way to the ground.
I wasn't listening.
But they absolutely adore him in Naples. In comes the corner on that far side. Plagiarism is alive and well. 2 minutes to go to full time. Interception on that far side. And then back it goes, and Unai Simon slides forward and gathers the ball safely as he rolls it out now to Lenormand. Well, it was a great moment when they scored. They provided several great moments actually in this Euros, but their first ever venture into a major tournament is coming to an end. But still you can hear that sense of pride from their supporters as they sing away in the rain in Cologne. Under 2 minutes of normal time remaining, but Spain lead by 4-1 and continue to be impressive.
Yeah, but got to say, Georgia, they've put everything into this tournament, haven't they? Given the fans plenty to be proud about. I mean, first of all, working their way through the Nations League, didn't they? They actually finished 9 points behind Scotland, finished fourth in the qualifying group. They worked their way, got into the tournament. I think they beat Greece, didn't they, on penalties?
That's right.
But they've really done themselves proud and put in some decent performances. Portugal being the memorable one. It's always going to be a step too far. I did feel that against Spain. But they've pushed Spain all the way, worked them hard.
Spain have had 31 shots, 12 have been on target. They're coming forward again. Williams into the penalty area. Williams looking for that shooting opportunity. His right-footed effort was blocked by Altunashvili. Comes then out towards Lamine Yamal, the youngest player ever to appear at a European Championship. Still that record to become the youngest goal scorer. You would think it's only a matter of time before he gets it as he picks up the ball once again and he's into the penalty area. Lamine Yamal passes the ball unselfishly to Olmo. Olmo shoots and it went straight at the goalkeeper Mamadashvili, who made the save. 4-1 Spain.
Tell you what, they like playing together, don't they? Olmo and Yamal. He's got the old Chris Waddle look about him at times, Yamal has, when the way he drops his shoulder and goes on the inside. And such an intelligent player. What is it about left footers, Ian?
A bit like left-handed cricketers, stylish.
Are you including yourself in the left-handed cricketers?
3 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. Spain 4, Georgia 1. 12 minutes away from 6:06. The lines are open. Hickey calls in for Chris, Robbie and Clinton as Yamal has to go on the outside. Ooh, did he just catch the defender on this near side? The referee says not. It'll be a goal kick.
So here's a question for you. Let's pretend you've called in 6:06. How do you think England would fare against this Spanish team, which we've seen in the tournament?
Well, you're the expert. How do you think they'd fare against them?
Can't you answer? I mean, you've covered football for however many years. I mean, you've got strong opinions.
Well,
just a question.
I think
Five Live correspondent doesn't want to answer.
No, I'm not the correspondent. I think any team is going to struggle against Spain. As Moreno wins the ball once again, they've got an intensity, they've got a hunger. It's certainly showing no signs of letting up as Yamal in towards the penalty area, tries to chip it towards Olmo. They've got strength and depth off the bench. They've got a nice blend of youth and experience. They're direct, they've got pace, they've got skill. I think that they are certainly the eye-catching side.
There's a little rabbit punch gone in there, hasn't there?
But of course, before they could face England, they've got to get past Germany. So Georgia's been on their mind, and now they've got to get past the Germans.
I've just written down, actually, in my notes that Ian Dennis respected 5 Live commentator says England would struggle against Spain.
Free kick to Spain. Jesus Navas to take it just in from the right touchline. Yamal. Navas starts on the outside. Cross goes through everybody. Williams was actually clipped and he's gone down inside the penalty area. Ball chipped back in. Header then from Rodri is over the top.
Well, this is a worry because I think Williams may have just overstretched. He looks to be in a fair bit of pain, and this would be a problem. Deflected cross, and he just... Well, it's hard to know. There is a challenge which goes in on him. It's good to see he's back on his feet and hobbling, but they wouldn't want to lose him. Spain, big game coming up against Germany, because he's been incredible for the Spanish team on that left-hand side.
Well, come on then, how do you think England would get on against Spain?
What, this moment in time?
Ball forward, Normand is there.
It's a good question. We'll put that out to the listeners. There we go.
That's you sitting on the fence. It's finished. Spain 4, Georgia 1, and Georgia's run, and they've certainly won a lot of fans here at the Euros, has come to an end at their first major tournament, but Spain's winning run goes on. That now is 10 competitive consecutive victories, their first or best run since 2016. They fell behind to an own goal from Lenormand. Mamadashvili was inspired with several fine saves. Rodri got an equaliser, half-time 1-1, but then a Fabian header in the second half, an own goal, and then Olmo. In fact, Williams with the third goal, and then Olmo 7 minutes from the end, 4-1. Chris Sutton.
Yeah, but I think Spain are the team to beat. They had to do it the hard way, had to work at it against an organised Georgian team. The goal from Rodri just before half-time, really crucial. Second half, they went through the gears, didn't they? Really up the game, some stunning goals. But you look at the balance of this Spanish team. Got Germany coming up, but I think at this moment in time, all the other countries left in these Euros are looking at this Spanish team thinking they are the team to beat. You want to go on and win this, even France. But Georgia, we see their players now down in front of their fans, applauding their fans. They've put everything in to this tournament that came up short tonight against a superior Spanish team.
They're getting a wonderful ovation from the Georgian supporters. The white and red flags are flying high with pride despite the defeat and despite their exit. They've enjoyed their ride. And meanwhile, at the other end, it's the Spanish players who acknowledge the celebrating Spanish support in the red to the right, because they go on and their next destination is Stuttgart for a quarter-final clash against Germany. After it's finished in Cologne, Spain 4, Georgia 1.